Have you ever picked up a book because someone recommended it or because it's a must-read bestseller, only to feel like you're not actually learning anything? Or worse, feeling guilty for not finishing it? That used to be me. I thought if I read the right books in the right order, I could fix everything I wanted to improve in my life. I had my stack of books, my plan, and my discipline, but I was miserable. And here's the kicker. It wasn't helping me learn any better. The problem isn't reading itself, it's the pressure we put on ourselves to read the right way. I was only reading books I thought would solve my problems. And that created this rigid, outcome-driven mindset. Reading became a chore instead of joy. And all that pressure actually made me procrastinate and burn out. Here's the science. When we experience stress while learning, our brains don't encode information as well. Stress reduces the effectiveness of neural pathways, making it harder to remember and apply what we read. So the very thing I thought was helping me improve was actually slowing me down. And when reading stops being fun, it becomes a task you avoid. You start thinking, I'll get to it later, or I'm not in the right mindset. And before you know it, weeks go by without touching a single book. Just this week, I've been trying to read Influence by Robert Cialdini. And the book's just sitting on my desk in the office. Every time I walk in, I see it, and I don't open it. Instead, I tell myself I need to work on a video, do some chores, scroll YouTube, or pick up my guitar, but anything other than reading. And it makes me feel guilty. I know I should be reading, but I'm exhausted from work. My attention's pulled in 100 directions, and my energy just isn't there. There's this little voice in my head saying, you really want to read this, but you don't want to do it right now. One day, I sat down in my office and admitted it. If I don't open the book, I'll never make progress. Part of me didn't want to do it, but the truth hit me. Avoiding it was frustrating because I was genuinely wanting to read it, but I couldn't figure out how to make it happen in the moment. That tension, wanting to read but feeling blocked, is exactly what makes procrastination so exhausting. I realized my old approach wasn't working. One morning sitting in my truck as I'm on my way to work, I started thinking about why I couldn't finish books the way I used to. Something had to change. Instead of forcing myself to read Influence, I decided when I got home to pick up the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. Now, meditations might seem like heavy philosophy to some people, but for me, it was easier because I was genuinely curious about it. I wanted to read it, not because I should, but because it interested me. I went in without any pressure to learn or achieve anything. I just wanted to enjoy reading. I found insights, but more importantly, I felt relief. My focus returned, reading felt fun again, and I realized the problem had been the pressure I was putting on myself. From there, I started choosing books based on my genuine curiosity, not what I thought I should read. Sometimes I read the Daily Stoic for a quick page or two to build momentum. I make the first step small and easy, a few pages, a short reflection, and it gives me the motivation to continue. I also learn to adjust based on my energy. On the days I'm exhausted, I read books I'm genuinely curious about, like How to Win Friends and Influence People, or short letters from Seneca. These feel lighter not because they're objectively easier, but because my interest makes them flow naturally. Now on the days that I have more bandwidth, I can tackle material that I feel like I should read that I'm not as excited about. This reduces stress, keeps the habit consistent, and allows me to build momentum without guilt. I naturally pause to reflect on what I read, noticing patterns and insights without taking heavy notes. It flows smoothly. Reading has now become something I look forward to, not something I dread. And I fit reading into my day in realistic ways, a half hour before bed or listening to audiobooks on my commute. I focus on small wins, reading even a few words or a paragraph, and that reinforces the habit. Consistency matters more than perfection. Letting go of that pressure brought relief and joy back to reading for me. I felt like I could finally get back on the horse, make progress, and build a consistent habit again. If you're feeling guilt, overwhelm, or frustration, you're not alone. The world often rewards high anxiety and relentless pressure, but that isn't how humans work best. Relaxation and momentum matter too. Tomorrow, just read something you're genuinely capable of reading. If you don't have the energy for a dense book, pick something lighter. Read a word, a paragraph, a page. That's enough to get started. Momentum usually follows. If it doesn't, switch to something else like a short passage from the Daily Stoic. Small steps compound into habit. And here's something most people don't realize. Even when you fix the pressure problem and start reading books you're curious about, there's still another challenge, actually retaining and applying what you read. That's a completely different skill, and it's exactly what I'm going to show you in the next video. Keep learning, keep growing, keep going. And I'll see you in the next one.